Pavi's Daily Hot Takes. Back again. This morning, I actually got a lot of stuff I want to talk about this morning. The first thing I want to talk about being the NBA awards, just as a show and as a spectacle. I saw a lot of people on Twitter last night complaining, about the award show, and I think everybody needs to shut the hell up. I think it's a great show. I think it's a great event for the sport of basketball. And I think what people need to realize is it's not really about you. It's about the kids and about the casual fans. Like if you're listening to me talking right now, you probably genuinely care about basketball. So the award show probably wasn't that interesting to you. You probably remember the days when they gave out the trophies, in the playoffs, which was dope. Like it was great for its time, but also the NBA wasn't in the spot. The NBA and society in general and the internet wasn't in the spot in which it is right now. We need those moments. Like we need to see Giannis at a podium. We need the memes that we'll get. We need to have, the moment of the year. We need the Bird and, Magic being honored. We need those things. I wish the show would be a little bit earlier, like maybe a week before, maybe like before the draft or something like that. But even still, it's hard to have it before the draft because, the championship winner is still celebrating. So it's hard to have it before the draft. But still, I just think the NBA Awards is a great event, and I love it, and I think it needs to continue. Again, it's for the kids, man. Like you're just making it an event, it's people probably felt this way about the BET Awards when the BET Awards first started. I don't know, but because we didn't have Twitter, but still, trust me, man, it's a great event. I love what the NBA is doing with it. I love how the NBA pretty much makes everything an event. Like I said, I remember when the NBA used to end. Like there was a point in time, I'm old enough to remember when the NBA ended. Like there was a point in time when basketball dead ass ended. Free agency was not the way it is now. People, switch teams and sign, but it wasn't like what it is now. There was a point in time in the offseason in which you really struggled to find, news or to find NBA content. 10 years ago, I couldn't do these podcasts in the offseason because there's nothing to fucking talk about. After the championship, is decided, and the draft, what are we talking about? Summer League wasn't even really a thing like that. Like it was, but it wasn't. Free agency wasn't a thing like that. Like it was, but it wasn't. And basketball was a 7-month sport. Now it's literally 365 days of the year, 7 days a week, 24 hours. It never stops. So shout out to NBA Awards. Shout out to NBA for putting on a great event. What I do want to talk about is these awards. Most of them shits I don't agree with. And I think the media members, whoever's in the media voting for this shit, I don't think they know basketball. And I think they're very disrespectful. Look, okay. Main one's the MVP, right? If you don't want to give it to Harden, first of all, right, after the last game of the season, I think that Harden and the Rockets as a whole didn't end the season the way they needed to end it. I think that, that run that the Thunder went on late, and I think they lost with a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, and Harden missed the game winner or something like that. I think he missed the game winner, or PZ hit the game winner or something like that, whatever. I think that the way he ended the season wasn't the best, but I don't know what the voter discrepancy was. Well, I know I don't have it on hand right now, but the voter discrepancy was way too disrespectful for the kind of season that James Harden had. To me, James Harden is my MVP, and it wasn't close. I don't think it was close. I think Harden was by far the MVP. For one, never in my life never in my life have I seen a season like what I saw from James Harden this year. Never in my life. Offensively. And even defense, people oh, he don't play defense. Man, he got some all defensive team votes. Second in steals, second in pass deflections. I think it was the top 90th percentile in post defense. For guards, he was probably one of the best post defenders for a guard. So he played defense. Also, they switched everything. He has to play defense. Also, half of his team was hurt for half of the year. He has to play defense. When your man ain't out there, you got to play. You got to do some of his biggest plays of the year to me were on defense. The steal he had in the Garden, that's defense. I think he had a rebound in like the 50-point game against Miami that sealed the game, or one of them games he had mad points. Like some of his biggest plays this year were on defense, even in the playoffs in which he had the horrible shooting game. The reason why I was so impressed by that game, I think it was game 3 or against Utah. The reason why I was so impressed by that game was he had 6 steals. He didn't let the fact that he shot bad take him completely out the game and let him have a terrible game. He still found other ways to produce. As far as it goes for Giannis, basically, Giannis put up pretty much the same stats. He played 70, so he played less games, put up basically the same stats. He averaged last year in 36 minutes, averaged 26, 10, 8, 1.5, and 4.8. This year, in 32 minutes, 27, 12, 5, 1.3, and 1.5. So basically, the only thing that really happened with them this year was your team got better. Middleton became an all-star. You added Brook Lopez. Brogdon had a 50-40-90 season. You also added Nico for the games that he was there. You added George Hill. I don't think Ilyasova was there last year. No, he wasn't. He was with the Sixers. Basically, the only thing that happened was your team got better. You didn't really get that much better. We looking at, basically what happened was your team got better. Brogdon was a rookie. Middleton averaged more points last year, but Brogdon was a rookie. You had Jabari there for 31 games. He wasn't there that much. I think Jabari he tore his ACL again last year, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, your team got better. That's really the only thing that happened was they added better pieces to your team, and also a better coach, and the parts around you got better. When I look at James Harden's season, pull up the numbers because I want to make sure I'm correct on this. Last year he averaged 30, 5, and 8. This year he averaged 36, 7, 6, and 2 steals. In basically one more minute. He played 35 minutes last year. He played 36 minutes this year. He played one more minute. So in his MVP season, he actually dominated more than what he did in his MVP season. The only thing that happened with Harden was his team got worse. Chris Paul took a step back. Also, Chris Paul wasn't there half the year. Even if we read the games of how many games each person played. So we got PJ Tucker at 82, Harden at 73. So Harden also played 6 more games than Giannis. Let me want to make sure I bring up so I can read the games played by Giannis' team next. Harden played 78, Gerald Green 73, Eric Gordon 68, Capella 67, Chris Paul 58. Excuse me, Austin Rivers 47, Fareed 25, Shump 20, Nene 42, James Ennis got traded half the year 40. He got traded. Gary Clark 51. Go over here to the Bucks. We got Brook Lopez 81, Eric Bledsoe 78, Chris Middleton 77, Tony Snell 47, Ilyasova 47, Brogdon 64. So basically your Brogdon plays 64. Harden's 3 main players I would say would probably be Capella and Chris Paul. Chris Paul played 58, Capella played 67. We got Brook Lopez at 81. We got Eric Bledsoe at 78. We got Middleton at 77. And we got Brogdon at 64. So for the most part, you had more help with you for most of the year. And I just think that Harden is the most disrespected superstar I can remember seeing. Like, superstar that I can remember seeing, all because people don't like the way he plays. I think the media is just hung up with, we don't want to crown the way he plays. We don't like the way he plays. Not even understanding that he has to play that way. I think that the media I think that Giannis is being forced upon us as the new face of the league. I'm going to keep it all the way G with you. Besides, the most impressed I was with Giannis throughout the season was the game against Philadelphia in which he scored 52 and lost. He scored 52. That was the only time I was like, yo, Giannis is out here like doing some MVP type shit. I don't think Giannis had an MVP moment. Tell me one moment from the season that you remember from Giannis. Tell me. Now, in the playoffs, I think the Pistons series was great, but also you playing against the fucking Pistons without Blake Griffin. The second round against the Bucks, Actually, against the Bucks, they took Giannis off the court and increased the lead many of times. So what I remember in that series ain't Giannis, it's George Hill. And then against the Raptors, yeah, they went up 2-0 and lose 4 straight games. So again, when you compare regular season to regular season, I don't think there's any type of comparison between what Giannis did and what Harden did. There's no comparison. And I think that for the media to vote on it the way they, I think it was like Harden got 28 first place votes and Giannis got like 121. That is disrespectful to the game of basketball. What are you watching? At some point in time with the MVP award, we have to start giving it to the best player and not the best player on the best team. Giannis was not the best player this season. He was on the best team, the best player on the best team, but he was not the best player. So you gave the MVP to a guy who realistically might have a much better season than what he had this year. I don't think James Harden can. What possibly the next step for Harden is averaging fucking 40, and that's unrealistic. You probably can't even average 36, 7, 2, and 6 on your my player. Then everybody say, oh, he shot mad threes. Yeah, he took 13 threes tonight, but shot 36% on those threes. For you to shoot 13 threes tonight, all unassisted. It ain't some Steph Curry shit in which you running around the goddamn court, running around screens with the other greatest shooter ever in your backcourt. It ain't that. I got Chris Paul in the backcourt with me. Shout out Chris Paul. Love CP3. One of my favorite players growing up. That ain't Klay Thompson when it comes to shooting the ball. Period. So the fact that you shot 13 threes a night and shot 36% on them is fucking incredible. That's pretty efficient. Especially when they're unassisted. Ain't like the man, getting the ball passed to him for open threes. He coming up court saucing people up. People say, oh, I don't like him getting fouled. Bro, Michael Jordan was taking 13 free throws a game. Did you have an issue with that? Did you have an issue with Steph Curry in the finals flopping everywhere? I ain't hear nobody say nothing about that. Kawhi Leonard in the finals flopping everywhere. I ain't hear nobody say nothing about that. Joel Embiid, all playoffs flopping everywhere. I ain't hear nobody say nothing about that. Giannis himself even took how many free throws? 9.5 free throws a night. So what are we talking about? You voted for Giannis because you don't like the way James Harden plays the game of basketball. That's disrespectful to what Harden did this year. He scored 30 points 30 straight times. I'm going to go month by month. I'm going to look at the splits. Everybody say, oh, in October, he was bad. The first couple games, he was bad. He came in out of shape. Still gave you 28, 6, and 9. Wow, out of shape. November, 31, 5, and 8. December, 36, 6, and 8. January, 43, 8, and 7. February, 37, 6, and 5. March, 35, 6, and 7. April, 32, 8, and 7. Let's go to Giannis. Go to the splits. What did he do? Month by month. Let's judge. October, 25, 14, and 5. November, 28, 12, and 6. December, 25, 12, and 6. January, the month that Harden averaged 43 fucking points a night. Giannis, on the other hand, gave you 25, 12, and 5. Then February, which he played 9 games, 30, 12, and 6. Then March, 29, 12, and 6. Then April, which he played 3 games, 34, 11, and 7. So in what month did you think that Giannis outplayed James Harden? I want to know. You want to talk to me about the rebounds? That's cool. But I remember the Bucks on national television. I was watching the game. The man said, yeah, Brook Lopez don't get many rebounds, but the man does a great job of boxing out for other people to get rebounds. Talk to me about the rebounds, but you got Brook Lopez boxing out for you. You talking to me about the assists, but you playing with Brogdon, who a 50, 40, 90 player. And Middleton. And you playing with Brook Lopez, who for fucking some reason turned into goddamn Steph Curry this season, which he wasn't doing last year. So I just want to know, in what month do you think Giannis played better than James Harden? Now, look, I want to give a shout out to Giannis. I think Giannis is a great human being. His story is inspirational. Coming from Greece, coming from Nigeria, then coming from Greece. His 4 brothers, they all lived in, one room. His 4 brothers, mom and dad, all lived in a one-room apartment. It's beautiful. It's a true testament to hard work. But if we're talking about MVPs and we talking about awards, ain't no goddamn way he should have got that award over Harden. I think that this is the league searching for a new face in the league. Also, the media. Giannis is very nice with the media. You got Nike. He got the ads. He seems super cool. He's a very personable, likable guy. And they voted for that man based off that. Because if you're talking about basketball, I don't understand why it's even a fucking discussion. Also, I think James Harden should have been on the all-defensive team over Klay Thompson. I'm happy he got some votes. I knew he wasn't going to make it because, again, there's this narrative that Harden can't play defense off of a couple vines that you had 5 years ago when the man got to go out there and do pretty much everything for his team offensively. Off a couple vines that you had 5 years ago when the man got caught lacking standing still. So you create this Harden don't play no defense narrative. And you want to talk about the head-to-head matchups. Shout out Urkel. He brought that up. Shout out Urkel. The head-to-head matchups. What the fuck do you remember about Giannis from the head-to-head matchups? Literally, what do you remember? The only thing I remember about the last head-to-head matchup was Eric Bledsoe. Eric Bledsoe lost his mind. Also, the last head-to-head matchup, I remember when the Rockets couldn't hit a shot. Harden would have had 20 assists if they could shoot that night. And I remember when Harden guarded Giannis in the post and Giannis was immobilized. So I want to know. I want y'all to respond to me in the comments. Respond to me on Twitter. I got a new page, Pavy's Daily Takes. Respond to me on there. Respond to me on my personal page. Respond to me on Hoops and Brews. Respond to me anywhere you want to respond to me. I want you to explain to me how in the fuck you want to rationalize Giannis winning this MVP besides the fact you don't like the way James Harden play. James Harden should have 3 MVPs. I think last year was a Lifetime Achievement Award, but I'm not mad at him winning it because, again, he didn't win it the other years. He did average 30. I thought that LeBron had a better individual season, but I knew that he was not going to win the award. I think he was, 4th in the East? At 50 games, Harden wins 54 games. You want to talk to me about winning? The man won 54 games. Let me make sure it's 54 before I say what I said. The Rockets won, I think it was 54 though, 53 games in the West. So, ain't like we can talk about winning. Division champs as well. Right? After the All-Star break, we're the best team. They won 53 games and half the team hurt half the year. The man you paying $41 million to played 58 games and gave you 15-8. The other man in which you paying, I think Capella would pay, $80 million? Played 67 games, giving you 16-12, which is nice. I thought that if Capella would have played the whole entire season, he would have been an all-star. The only man who was out there with the man every night was PJ Tucker, who didn't make an all-defensive team, and that is embarrassing. He should have made an all-defensive team over Kawhi. Kawhi played 66 games. Y'all got to stop voting off name. I don't know who these media members are, but I'm telling you, my life goal in life is to get the NBA media vote, because y'all don't do it right. Y'all too much vote for names, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You don't know basketball. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're watching. Like, Harden was a show every single night. Doing a 30-point streak, you tuned in to see if he just scored 30 points. He was a show. I think he had 5 50-point games. Let me actually look at it. I actually screenshot it on my phone to make sure I can read it off. The man had 7 50-point games, 19 40-point games, 2 60-point games. Do you understand you might not ever see this again in your life? James Harden had the best individual season in 30 years since Michael Jordan. Since Michael Jeffrey Jordan. He's in that conversation when it comes to individual seasons. Do you understand what you just watched? And you didn't get that man no MVP award because you don't like that he gets fouled? Tell the man to stop fouling him. Don't be mad because he better at drawing contact than the other people. Especially the Warriors fans. Did you not see Steph Curry fucking doing splits in the air? Did you not see him throwing his butt back on every single floater? Did you not see it? especially the Kawhi people. Did you not see him screaming every time he got touched? Did you not see that? Or do you just only not like it when Harden do it? You gotta stop, man. Steph Curry first MVP should have shipped that bitch to Houston. He shouldn't have it. The fact that you get to sit out people say, oh, he sat out fourth quarters. The fact you get to sit out fourth quarters because you probably had a 15-point lead and your bench came in and increased the lead or held the lead is even more of a reason as to why you shouldn't win MVP. You were not the most valuable player. You were just on the best team. No. I usually don't ever think the MVP should come from the best team. You had the best team. You did what you should have done. I always go with the guy who did more with less. The same thing. The year when I think the Rockets won however many games and they gave the MVP to Russ. I said Harden don't deserve it. Give it to Russ. He averaged a triple-double. When you seen the man average a triple-double? So again, I think Harden is the most disrespected superstar of this generation. It's disheartening to me. And I think one day, at least I hope one day, that I think Harden is the new Charles Barkley. And I think that people don't really understand how good Chuck was, especially if you didn't see it. I even think people that saw it don't even understand how good Chuck was. Like, oh, he couldn't get it done. Gee, he lost to Mike. Mike scored fucking 55 points in a finals game. What you want me to do against that, bro? I'm just like, come on, bro. The only team Harden has consistently lost to over the past 4 to 5 years is the Warriors. One of the best teams of all time. What you want him to do about that, bro? What you want me to do about that, bro? Now, again, Game 6 is still the worst performance I've ever seen from a professional basketball team this year. But still. What you want me to do about that, bro? What you want me to do, bro? What? It's like when people shit on Patrick Ewing for losing the mic. Gee, he lost the mic and the Bulls. What you want me to do? What? Then he went to the finals and went 7 with Hakeem. John Starks played for the Rockets in Game 7. What you want him to do? What? You gonna discredit that man? You gonna tell me he ain't all-time great because he ain't got a ring? You gonna do that? I hate ring culture. I don't like the media members who vote on this. I hate the fans who want to nitpick and find something to pick at. Oh, we don't like that he shoots so many free throws. Did you hate the fact when Michael Jordan shot 13 fucking free throws and I think it was back-to-back years in 87 and 88? Did you hate that? The league-wide joke that you couldn't touch Michael Jordan? Remember the goddamn Dream Team documentary in which the man Magic Johnson said you can't get too close to Michael or it's a foul? Did you hate that? Or was it Michael Jordan so you ain't have an issue? Did he do cool dunks and fadeaways so you ain't have an issue? I guess you don't like the step back threes Harden do and he hoop a little bit husky so you don't rock with it. You don't want to honor it. Okay. I know. You praise AI MVP. Now look, I'm gonna say this. I'm doing this podcast because of Allen Iverson and Michael Jordan. Without AI, my basketball fandom wouldn't have continued. Without Michael Jordan, my basketball fandom wouldn't have started. But I gotta keep it all the way G. When AI winning them goddamn MVP awards, shooting the ball damn near 30 fucking times a night, did you complain about that? Nah, you loved it because he had tattoos and he wore cool fucking shooting sleeves. So you loved it. That's disrespectful. You talking about, oh, Harden shot so many free throws a game, so, he should average 36. Giannis dunked more than anybody, so he should average 27 points. He fucking dunked the whole damn game. Dunked. He should shoot. What did he shoot from the field? How efficient was he? 57% from the field. He should. You dunked the whole game. You dunked the whole game. His true shooting percentage should be 64%. You dunked the whole game. That's disrespectful. Disrespectful to the game of basketball. Look, if the man get to win the award, fine, you know what? I disagree. But I think the discrepancy in which he won is completely disrespectful. And you talk to any NBA player, they'll probably tell you the same damn thing. The ones who wouldn't don't like Harden. I promise you. I promise you. What you saw James Harden do this year, you will never see again. Well, you might see it again, but it's going to take a while. I promise you. I can promise you. That's disrespectful. And let me get to Luka Doncic, Trae Young. I'm going to keep it all the way G with you. I think because, look, I want to say Luka had a great rookie season. All of that. But let's keep it G. I think the league always looks for, there's only a couple times in which the league gets to find a great white hope. I think that, like Larry Bird, again, not saying Larry Bird wasn't hard. Larry Bird was hard. Not saying Luka Doncic didn't have one of the best rookie seasons ever. But the discrepancy that I saw for Rookie of the Year voting is disrespectful. Trae Young gets 2 first-place votes? I'm sorry. No. 2? No. The month in which everybody, first of all, Luka Doncic came into a much better situation than what Trae Young came into. Coming in. So, of course, Luka steps in and produces right away. He's in a better situation. Trae Young's in Atlanta with a rookie in his backcourt with John Collins out the first month of the season. I don't even know who was starting at the 4. I can't remember. Probably a late first-round pick at the 4. I think for the second half of the season, Trae Young was much better than Luka Doncic. If you want to talk about winning, his team also pretty much seemed to win more than Luka Doncic's team. Again, I'm not saying Luka shouldn't have won the award. I personally think it should have been co-rookie of the year. But I'm not saying Luka shouldn't have won the award. But the discrepancy I see, I think it's another thing in which you want to crown somebody. Again, Luka, from Europe, he's white, and you want to crown him. And that's okay. Again, Luka had one of the best rookie seasons I've personally seen. But so did Trae Young. What was he? Second in assists amongst everyone. Let me make sure. Leaders. He averaged 8.1 assists a game. And as far as total assists, assist percentage, he was third with 40% of his possessions ended in assists. And as far as assists as a whole, he ended the season second with 653 assists. Luka ain't even on this list for most assists. Assists per game, Luka ain't even on this list. So what we voting on? Man finished the season averaging 19 points and 8 assists in 30 minutes. What we voting on, bro? What are we voting on? What are we really voting for? Well, what are y'all really voting for? Because I ain't in there yet. It's one of my life goals. What are y'all voting on, bro? Are you voting for popularity? Are you voting on what's cool? Are you voting on the market? Are you voting on who you just personally want to crown? Is that what you voting on? Because to me, that's what it seemed like. Because that ain't right. I'm sorry. Look. I'm not saying Luka should not have won. If you want to give it to him, fine. I have no issue with that. Luka, TPJ always say had a better season than Bron. I don't think he did, but I think his rookie season was comparable to what LeBron did. Pretty much in the past decade. Is Blake in this decade? Yeah. Besides him, Blake Griffin, and Tyreek Evans have had the best rookie seasons in the past decade. So, not saying he shouldn't have won. But for the discrepancy to be like what it was, it's disrespectful to what Trae Young did this year with the Atlanta Hawks. It's disrespectful. And I think that this is the league and also the media trying to crown a new white hope. I'm sorry. Call me what you want. I'm sorry. Because the voting shouldn't look like that. Again, I'm not saying the man shouldn't have won. But the voting shouldn't look like that. It shouldn't be damn near unanimous. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. Same with the Giannis Harden shit. That's disrespectful. Giannis could win, but the voting shouldn't look like that. And then moving on. Getting off the NBA awards again. I think it was a great event. Shout out Pascal Siakam. I agree with him winning that award. I know D'Lo was an all-star, but Siakam pretty much came out of nowhere this season to do what he did. I agree with the Sixth Man of the Year award. Coach Bud winning Coach of the Year. I'm not mad at it. I personally would have went with Doc, though. I think Doc did a better coaching job. I think Doc did not more with less talent, but he did a lot with less talent than what Coach Bud did. So I would have personally went with Doc Rivers or Mike Malone over Bud. But that's just the way that I vote, and that's just the way that I think when you judging the best. I'm never going to go with who has the most talent. I'm going to go with the person who did more with less or almost as much with less. That's just the way I vote, and that's the way I look at the best. Period. So, yeah, I mean, shit, if I was in the 90s, I probably wouldn't have voted for Mike some years. I probably would have voted for somebody else. And I'm from Chicago. Some of them years. Some of those years. But moving on. Saw a video today that said last year in the finals, Iggy played with a fractured leg and the Warriors put it out as a bone bruise. Like I said, the Warriors need to be investigated for malpractice. That gives me even more. And Iggy said, nah, my leg is fractured. The Warriors pressured him to get back out there because, again, they said it's a bone bruise. He's like, nah, my leg is fucking fractured. Then you put it out as a bone bruise, and everybody's pressuring him to get back on the court. Same you with KD. You put it out there as a calf strain when he probably really had an Achilles strain, which is micro tears in your Achilles. And now that man went out there and tore his Achilles. What if Iggy would went out there and nurked his fucking leg in the damn finals? The Warriors training staff needs to be investigated heavily. They need to be fired, or somebody needs to sue the Warriors for malpractice, because that ain't right. What they doing to their players over there. That ain't right. I'm sorry. Period. That ain't right. I'm not rocking with it. And if other teams do it, they should be investigated, and their training staff should also be fired. I'm sorry. Playing basketball with a fractured leg is not tough. It's stupidity. That doesn't that doesn't make you a quote unquote warrior. It makes you stupid. Why would you do that? Like, we're not even talking about, your basketball career. Your livelihood for the rest of your life is at stake. Iggy is still a very young man. It's not like this man is 60 years old. This is the first quarter of his life. Hopefully, the man still got like 50 years left on this earth. Playing basketball with a fractured leg in the finals, guarding LeBron with a fractured fucking leg. And you sent that man out there like that? Telling everybody it's a bone bruise? You think that's okay? Golden State Warriors, Dub Nation, defend this. Warriors World, defend this. All of y'all, defend this. Defend this. Defend it. I want to hear it. Because that ain't right. Now look. I just know about the Warriors doing it because Iggy spoke on it. I'm sure other teams do it as well. But if other teams do it as well, I will tell you the exact same thing. Like when D Rose, the Bulls, like what really happened with that situation was the Bulls should have ruled him out for the year. Like the Knicks did with Porzingis, or like the Knicks did when they got Porzingis. You know what? He's out for the year. Period. He's not playing. Because you putting pressure on these players to come back and play when they're not healthy. And then fans don't even understand the extent of the injury. So then they get labeled with this, he's too soft tag. And now, obviously, in this day and age, like, it's very easy for the players. Like, it's really hard to avoid comments. Even for me. And I'm not any type of, fucking soup. I'm not a celebrity. But it's still very hard for me to avoid comments. Like, there's very many ways to get your message to me, or for you to let it be known what you're thinking. So for an NBA player who has millions of followers or hundreds of thousands of followers on every website, there's so much media coverage, it's also very easy for us to get our message to them. And you force that man out there, and look what happened to the man. I think the Warriors need to be investigated. I think their training staff needs to be possibly sued. IT needs to sue Danny Ainge too, because he ruined that man's career. I want to throw that in there as well. I keep saying that. Sue that man, IT. I think the Warriors training staff need to be investigated for malpractice, because that ain't right. Period. But I got to go. I got to go to LA Sparks practice. So I'm going to get off this. Pav's Daily Hot Takes. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.